Welcome to Love You Bro Podcast, where I am your host, Jude Davella, and today I am not doing it up with my baby brother, Jamie, but as my daughter said today, Dad, who likes hearing themselves talk more than you do? So tonight is going to be a solo show. I've always got my production guys from KC Podcast Company in the house with me tonight, holding it down, Dylan and Devin. So unfortunately, they're going to have to give me a little bit of feedback tonight. But man, you guys, there's so much stuff to talk about in the sports world in Kansas City. First off, a shout out and congratulations to Carter Jensen, who was on Love You Bro Podcast earlier this summer when he was in AAA at Omaha. Carter just got the September call up for the Royals. So Carter Jensen, Jack Caglione, we're super excited about getting those guys on. We'll have those guys on at the end of the season, but super excited for those guys to be called up. So hats off, congratulations to Carter. What a lifelong dream. As he talked in one of our reels, he talked about he had signed with LSU and then had the opportunity to get drafted by the Royals. And as he said in that reel, he was like, I'm living although he missed out on the time at LSU, he's like, I'm living my lifelong dream of being a lifelong Royals fan. Grew up. Carter was in the stands, during 14 and 15 when the Royals were making their push in the World Series. And to now being able to put a Royals uniform on tomorrow night. So I did through a good friend of mine. Thank you to my good friend. I won't even say her name. Got Jessica and I tickets for tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, Los Angeles Angels at Royals, and we will be in attendance tomorrow as Carter gets to put on his Royals uniform for the first time. So hats off to Carter Jensen, man. Super excited for you, pal. Good luck. I know you'll kill it down the stretch. So that's fun. We've got Derrick Johnson coming on tonight. Derrick's calling in from Austin. We're going to talk a little bit Texas-Ohio State. It was a big college football weekend. So we're going to talk to him about Texas-Ohio State, and then we're also going to talk to him about Arch Manning. Arch Manning, they're so highly touted and talked about this entire offseason. Last year when he's at Texas, I'm not even sure. I'm curious to ask DJ if he knows NIL money-wise what Arch got in that NIL. I think it's in that $3 to $4 million range, guys. It's one of the highest paid. I know that. So I'm curious to see what it is that Arch did get paid NIL money. But it's a lot of pressure on a kid. Texas lost to Ohio State a couple different times. They got stopped inside the 10-yard line and he couldn't punch in the end zone. So I'm going to talk to DJ about that. You guys also, Derrick Johnson here this weekend got named number 5 on the top 10 all-time list at the University of Texas football players. So with all the pedigree that's come out of that is huge. So we're going to get to talk to DJ about that. We're going to talk with him about the Micah Parsons trade, Cowboys to the Packers. And then we'll finish up with a little bit of kicking off the NFL season and talking about the Chiefs kicking off and going to Brazil. So we'll talk to Derrick about that. On this second part of our show, we've got former KU running back David Winbush. David's a good friend of the show, good friend of Derrick Johnson. He came out of high school in Austin, Texas, and then went to the University of Kansas, 97 through 2000. So he had 4 matchups against MU. So we'll talk KU-MU Rivalry. And then, guys, we're going to have a lot of stuff to post after our show tonight. So go and check out all of our social media. Make sure you're following, you're liking, subscribing, and following on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and X, mainly on our YouTube and our IG channel. Make sure you go there and like and subscribe. As we continue building listeners and viewers, man, it's going to help us out, help us with people that come on to sponsor our show. Like I said, so we're excited to have David Winbush on. We're going to talk KU-MU Rivalry. You guys, go to our Instagram. Our social media guy, Quinn Cosgrove, kills it. We have a lot of cool reels on Instagram, on TikTok, the Love You Bro channel of it. Go check out a lot of the reels that we have on there. We've got some great reels from our K-State kickoff show, from our Mizzou kickoff show. We will get a KU kickoff show in. It really won't be a kickoff show because the season's already kicked off. But KU looked good on Friday night. The offense looks good, and I think it's one of those things that if they keep Jalen Daniels healthy, it could be a special season. But they're going to have their hands full with Mizzou on Saturday. So also with checking out all of our social media, you guys will have links to our merch store. We have all of our KU shirt, all of our college football shirts are out. In K-State, we've got our purple ones with the silver Love You Bro podcast. And then we've got the really cool lavender ones with the dark purple Love You Bro podcast. I'm going to say the reason K-State got 2 shirts is because Tommy O'Donnell, who does our shirts and does our merch from Specialized Printing, is a K-State grad. So I think that's why K-State got the 2 colors. So you'll see the cool crimson and blue shirts, the KU shirts, as well as, you know what, Missouri got 2 shirts. Missouri got the black one with the gold lettering, and then in Columbia on Saturday, we will have the yellow Love You Bro with the black writing. We'll have those shirts out on Saturday. Guys, come check us out. We'll be posting stuff on social media. I'll be posting stuff on my Facebook page about this Saturday. We're going to be live in Columbia, Missouri, 11 to 2, doing a 3-hour show before the game, before the big game, renewing this rivalry that hasn't been done since, hasn't been played since 2011. So excited about that. So we got David Winbush coming on to talk KU-MU. I had a chance to talk to some of my guys earlier today and friends just talking about the KU-MU rivalry and just going back and watching some of the old clips, some of the old film. It's crazy to see the stands and the coaches and sidelines and players. I just don't know. I'll be anxious to talk to David a little bit too. I just don't know from my standpoint. Maybe I'm a boomer. Maybe I'm not thinking right. But I just can't seem to think that the players today grasp what this truly what this rivalry means to people that have been around Kansas and Mizzou their whole lives. Like my dad's side of the family all grew up Kansas Jayhawk fans. My mom's side, people went to Mizzou, and so over there it was Missouri. And I just remember just a lot of family arguments that got really heated, and like our parents having to kind of separate, not to where we were throwing blows and being idiots, but to where we were mother effing each other and flipping each other off, and we were young kids, and we were taught to hate Mizzou. Mizzou was taught to hate us, and I still have a lot of friends that went to Mizzou. A lot of friends went to KU. So the rivalry is real. I know there's a lot of people that can't wait to get this thing kicked off on Saturday. So we'll talk with David Winbush and we'll talk about that. But I'm excited to get Derrick on. You guys, I have a few interesting things that I want to bring up, and I forgot my notes tonight, so I just had to have somebody screenshot this to me. Talking about the NFL season kicking off, I want to go to some things that I pulled up today when I was looking through stuff. I was watching an NFL show today, and I'm looking at, when you really look at the 4 contenders in the NFL and the AFC, we'll talk to DJ a little bit about this. Obviously, you're going to talk the Chiefs, you're going to talk Mahomes, but then you're also going to talk Bills, you're going to talk Ravens, and you're going to talk Bengals. And when I go and look at those, there were some interesting points that came up on NFL Network today. And looking at the Bengals since 2019 and their first and second week of the season since 2019, they're 1-11 in their first 2 games. That's just crazy to me. And then every year they're fighting to scratch to try to make the playoffs. If those guys ever get out of the chute 4-0, 3-1, AFC could be in trouble a little bit. But I'm telling you, that was just something that struck me. There's a team that's as good as they are, and you're 1-11 in your first 12 games since 2019. Something else that kind of sparked my interest a little bit is the Bills and the Bills' schedule. The Bills play both the Ravens and the Chiefs this year, but they get them both at home. So that's kind of nice for the Bills to get us and the Ravens both at home. But since 2023, the Bills have the best home record in the AFC. They're 18-2. That includes playoffs. So one of those playoff losses, as you know, was a AFC playoff game that we had a couple years ago when we beat Buffalo in Buffalo. So that means besides that loss to the Chiefs, they're 18-1 since 2023 at home, which is quite a record there at home. The Ravens, what kind of sparked me about what they've got going on is their first 4-week schedule. The Ravens got to come out of the chute, which a lot of people are picking the Ravens to come out of the AFC and go to the Super Bowl and from the AFC. So Baltimore opens up at Buffalo Sunday Night Football. Then they're going to come home and play the Browns. Then they come home to play the Lions, who are in the NFC Championship game, and then at the Chiefs. So to me, that's like really those are 4 tough games coming out of the chute for the Ravens. The Bills, I don't know. It seemed to me that the Bills had an easier schedule when I looked at it today. And then the Chiefs, the Chiefs got a tough schedule. The first 4 coming out of the chute, they got the Chargers, which Harbaugh's going to want to slow things down. Harbaugh's going to want to slow the game up. He's going to want to run the ball 40 times and have his defense, hopefully hold Mahomes and company down under, 20 points, 17 points, and try to steal one from us. I just don't know. It's going to hurt us with Rasheed being gone. I am glad that Rasheed's, when they put his suspension, when the NFL finally hit him with his suspension, I know they had tried to get 12 games. And looking at what the NFL Players Association and Rasheed's people and stuff did, I think they went and said they wanted 4. So they kind of settled, and Rasheed got 6, which it sucks, but he knew he was going to get slapped with some games. So now at least he knows what it is. He can put it behind him. He'll have to sit these first 6 weeks. But it's going to be tough on the Chiefs, having Rasheed down, and then also our Royals kid that we have, the wide receiver, he's hurt and banged up right now. So I just don't know what we do offensively with Rasheed gone. Hollywood didn't play a ton during preseason. So this first Chargers game is going to be tough. But just looking at the schedule with the Chiefs in the first 4 weeks, I mean, compared to what some of the other schedules are. So we get the Chargers in Brazil. We come home and play the defending Super Bowl champion, the Eagles, which they beat us in Arrowhead a couple of years ago. Then they beat us in the Super Bowl last year. Then we go at New York at the Giants, and then come home for the Ravens. So, I mean, there's 3 blockbuster games with Chargers, Eagles, Ravens right out of the chute. So it's going to be a fun NFL season. We got involved in a little Will Gregory, who was one of our guests on here. They did a celebrity draft, which we had to have our nephew go do it for us. But he went and drafted a couple fantasy teams, a couple of Love You Bro fantasy teams. So Jamie's got one, I got one. And it is a celebrity fantasy league based out of Hollywood Casino. So I know one of our former guests, Stephen St. John from A10 Radio's in the league. Jillian Carroll has a team. She's in the league. So a lot of celebrity radio and stuff hosts. It was cool they invited Love You Bro and invited Jamie and I to do a fantasy team. So that's going to be fun. You guys, I haven't done a fantasy football team in probably 10, 12 years. Your draft's going on right now? Do you have someone drafting for you?
I'm letting it auto draft.
Oh, you let it auto draft? Okay.
It's going to set me up solid, and we got this. But
right.
I'm excited to do a family league.
Oh, you do a family league? Okay. Jamie has had a league. God, I can't remember the name of the league, but he's had a league for, gosh, man. I mean, he's had a league for a long time. So I don't know if those guys are still doing it this year, but I'm going to say probably 15, 17, 18 years. Jamie's had a fantasy football league. So I don't know if they're doing it this year, but they would always do the draft every year on Sunday at Tower Tavern. Shout out to our guy, Grant Noggle, over there. And so they would do it over there and do the draft. But I'm not sure if they're doing the team this year or doing the league this year or not. So kind of fun to be in that celebrity fantasy league and be able to do that. So we're excited about that. Looking forward to getting DJ on. DJ should be calling in. Let me just text and make sure my guy's all good here. Sorry, guys. Just want to check with DJ real quick. I spoke to him earlier. Hang on a sec, guys. All right, just send a text to him. So like I said, guys, so much stuff going on. I know our guys are getting ready to take off for Brazil on Wednesday. Chiefs will be leaving and doing that. I know Andy does not like being, even if it's out of country, like he's not a guy where some people are like, I want to go out and be, 5 days ahead of time, let the guys get accustomed to he wants to keep schedules as close to what he does during the season as possible. So even though they are going to Brazil, he wants to get over there, get 1 day of getting on the field and taking a look at things, and then next day get the game in, get it out, and then get back home. So I know they leave on Wednesday. We're getting guys ready to do that. It'll be an exciting opener. Thursday, the Eagles kick off. I don't even know who the Eagles play this week. Tonight it's just me and the podcast. It's me and our guys here. There's no intern, no Quinn tonight, no Theo, no Jamie. So we're just kind of going with this thing on our own tonight. So hope everybody had a great Labor Day weekend and that you guys are super excited, man, for NFL season. What a kickoff college season-wise, man. Huge games. Ohio State, Texas, which I'm really just itching to get on and talk to DJ about. Notre Dame last night went into Miami and lost at Miami last night. I really like their freshman quarterback. The quarterback, that kid that came over from Georgia to Miami, looked really good last night. College football season is going to be good. You guys, what's that?
Alabama lost.
Yeah, Alabama lost. So I mean, I saw a TikTok reel where the TV cameras were going across the Alabama fan base, and there was some kid there in the middle of the audience, saw the cameras kind of scanned on him as they were losing. Just gave him the bird, man. Yeah, Alabama's not. They're not used to losing, man. They're not used to losing, especially coming out of the chute. It's another question I have for DJ tonight is asking him. It used to be back in the day when these colleges would start the season and everybody kind of had a couple rummies to kind of, get loose, kind of warm up. Then you started getting into your season games, and then maybe you might play one or two tough ones, non-cons, because the season's so short. In college basketball, you can play those big schedules like KU does, playing the Dukes and the UConns and stuff early in the year. Because even though if you lose a game or one or two of those games, you're still going to be able to, build your season because you play, 28, 30 games. But college football, man, you really can't come out of the chute and lose one and then be considered to be in that college playoff. So it's going to be exciting to see what all these teams do. I am so pumped for KU-MU on Saturday, man. Mizzou, I think, came out right off the bat. They came out 6.5 point favorite. So we'll see what that plays out like. Man. Just check on real quick, guys. Just check on my guy here. So guys, like I said, there's just so much going on, man. With college football season kicking off, KU, Mizzou, Chiefs leave for Brazil, Eagles, they'll get to get their rings and have their banner dropped on Thursday night, which I was against the Cowboys. Still they're home against the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's in Philadelphia.
Man, I've seen some great memes too about Cowboy fans, man.
They always seem to get the short.
I mean, they trade Luka Doncic from the Mavs. They trade Luka to the Lakers. Now they trade Micah to the Packers. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on in the water over there in Dallas and what they're thinking. But that deal I don't think was ever going to get done. Micah Parsons' agent, David Mulligetta. I've met David several times. And I met David because of a guy that I worked with for 10 years, Jamal Charles. Jamal and David Mulligetta is one of his best friends. And I'll tell you, David Mulligetta has made his name, man. Hats off to him and what he's done in the NFL agent world, because Mulligetta's made his name over at Athletes First. And those guys do it right. And Mulligetta, a man, knows what he's doing over there. And, Jerry Jones had come out and talked in an interview, and he said that Mulligetta came out and didn't say his name, he said Micah's agent took a look at what we offered and basically told me to, stick it in my ass type of deal. And anybody who's ever met David Mulligetta or knows David Mulligetta knows that guy would never say that to anybody, much less an owner of a team, no matter how bad the offer looked. Hats off to David for what he did with the Micah Parsons deal, getting the trade to Green Bay, and then getting that contract. Micah got a new contract, 4 years, $180-something million. I forgot what it was he got. The highest non-quarterback contract in the NFL, though. So that is
120 in guarantees and 44 million signing bonus.
120 guaranteed.
120 guaranteed plus 44 million at signing.
Oh man, God, man, 44 out of the gate, but he got 120 guaranteed.
It's probably higher with,
Of course, with all the incentives, all the stuff he's got on there. $180 million contract though, but yeah, congratulations on Micah Parsons. Packers they'll be strong, and they'll put Mike, and I'm sure that guy's going to be ready to make a lot of noise over there and what they've got going on. I had a chance to go out to the booth last week. Jamie and I both went to the booth and saw KU's opening their new stadium, which is really cool. Little bit of a bummer, man, when you look across to the visiting side, because that side's still it's still not up yet. So they had to get more money, but David Booth put $300 million. So I was doing a little bit of reading, a little research on him too. So David Booth from Lawrence, Kansas, runs a hedge fund that's over $1 trillion. So he donated $300 million to the KU project. So I guess the first $75 million will go to finish that side of the stadium. They have a hotel that's going to back up, which is really going to make that stadium super cool. But everything they've done so far to it, the stadium, all the food, all the entertainment part of it. But there'll be a whole new entertainment district and hotel when that stuff's done over there. So the booth is going to be, it'll be rocking this year. It was so much fun. It was sold out. I don't know what the crowd was they had on Friday. I watched the game, and like I said, KU's offense looked good, man. Jalen Daniels looked good. He's got some receivers. Hang on one second. Here's my guys right here. So I'm welcoming to the show. I'm going to welcome to the show again someone who comes on a lot that's part of our family, man, part of each other's family for a long time. We want to welcome former Chiefs linebacker, one of the all-time greats at Texas, and we're going to get into that in a minute too. My man, Derrick Johnson. What's up, Deej?
Hey, what's up, Jude, man? Thanks for having me on, bro.
Come on, man. I can't thank you enough, bro. I know how busy your schedule is with family and the kids and everything you got going on there in Austin. First off, I want to tell you, congratulations on your book that you did with Brittany. What a cool thing. I'll let you talk a little bit about that. But, yeah, congratulations on that, Deej. That's awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man. It's always important serving the youth and empowering young people, so I'm always up for it, bro.
DJ, listen, I've told people, doing what I've done for the last 22 years, all the guys I've worked with, and there's only a handful of people that you get a chance to get this close with. And it doesn't matter where I've stepped in my life, whether it's been Kansas City, Texas, Austin, across the league, wherever, everybody that I come across when they're like, oh yeah, I'm like, I was DJ's assistant for 14 years. They'll say it, and I know it, but they're like, man, you won't find a better, more professional guy on the field, off the field, and how you've given back to the youth, education. I know that comes a lot from your mom, but I said, hats off to you, bro, what you do for all the education stuff and the libraries and stuff that you've done. So hats off to you, brother, for that.
Man, I appreciate it. That's probably the best compliment I can get on and off the field. When I was on the field, being able to have people put me in position to be a captain, the leader of the team, especially of the defense. But now that I've transitioned to being retired and being a philanthropist, man, to be able to, for players that, younger players, older players, whoever knows me, they say, man, he's a straight up guy. So that kind of makes me smile, man. I've always tried to carry myself in a way that will respect my family and shed light on what's good, right?
Right.
If you're a blessing, be a blessing to others, man. So
yes, sir, man. Hats off to you. Hats off to Mama Johnson, man. She did good work over there.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, let's dive into this, man. I know you don't have long. I want to get into a few different things. We're going to get to something first here. Let's talk a little bit about it was a big weekend this weekend in college football. Obviously, it was highly weighted on to see Texas, Ohio State. Tell me kind of your thoughts about the game a little bit, because I know back home you're talking about it. You're talking to other guys you played with there, other Texas alumni. What was the thoughts? What were the feelings on the game Saturday? And then I have a second follow-up question to that.
Yeah, that was a tough one, man. That was a really tough one. First of all, preseason number one in the country, that always comes with a little bit of pressure. But being able to have a starting new phenom quarterback in Archie Manning, knowing that all the pressures come with that. I mean, Heisman hopefuls. I mean, just you name it. We got it here at the University of Texas. But that first game was a big test for us. Big test. Ohio State kind of let us know, hey, we're still the big dogs or whatnot,
right.
And we got a little bit more work to do when it comes to the Longhorns. But again, man, it's the first game of the season, so I've never been the person, even if it goes good, really good, or not so good. You can't put all your eggs in that first game. That first game, it's a lot of different things going on, and not to have any excuses, because there's some things where you say, man, we got to get better,
right?
But we're not there yet, and it's okay. I mean, we play one of the best teams in the country, at least top 5 team in the country. So
Of course.
It's pretty cool that we get to fail forward. I would say we got a lot of good players. So Manny's gonna have another chance, another opportunity to see what he has.
Right. So DJ, how do you feel? Because I was talking to some of the guys earlier. How do you feel about the way they're kind of doing things now? Because back in your day and what I've seen the last 20, 30 years, big teams always have a couple little layups early in the year, kind of get ready, kind of get guys to get a feel for the game. How do you feel about the big schools like that just wanting to butt heads right out the bat? Miami, Notre Dame, the Alabama game, you guys in Ohio State. How do you feel about coming out of the chute with that? If you were playing today, would you rather come out of the chute like that, or to get maybe a little easier team to kind of get some, a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of stuff under your belt? How would you want to do it if you were playing today?
I would definitely want to get a couple easier teams, man. I mean, not that I'm afraid or scared. It's like, I mean, let's figure some stuff out.
Yes, right.
But I think it's really gutsy and risky when teams play each other very early. But believe it or not, in the middle of the year, if you were to see these teams like Miami, Notre Dame, if you say, hey, well, if they play each other now, what's going to happen? Right. Or if it's game 8, game 10, what's going to happen then? That's a whole nother ball game. And the Chiefs know that pedigree later down the stretch. You got to get better throughout the year. Right. And it wasn't a must win, so that was cool about that. But it is a kind of a downer. Like, golly, man, I wish the offense showed up a little bit more. Defense was really good from a Longhorn standpoint, but they'll be good.
You know what impressed me a little bit about Ohio State was, and just from me watching from afar, I didn't play in the league or anything, but you know me, I love the game, and I spent a lot of time watching and studying it. Was their secondary? I feel like there's a few kids in that Ohio State secondary that are going to play in the league.
Absolutely. Well, when you have a really good team like they did, sometimes you want to blame it on the offense. They need to call different plays, or they need to try to get open. It's like, hey, those guys on the other side of the ball, they handling business. That's just what they do. And they all the big schools, man, they reload. It's not just trying to, because they send a lot of people to the NFL, and then you would think, they will be down a year. No, they just reload, man. They got honestly, it's a money game now. So they got the best players money can really provide at the moment. So.
Yeah, with this transfer portal, you were seeing a lot of, watching all the games on Saturday. I really locked myself into watching most of the games Saturday. But it just seems like all the big schools, Alabama, Miami, Notre Dame, Texas, they were talking about a lot of the transfers. This guy came from Auburn. This guy came from Florida. This guy came from, which you just didn't see back in the day. So that transfer portal has definitely changed the game for sure.
Yeah, it has. It really puts the pressure on the coaching staff and the players to really gel together early, right? You're like, man, we got a whole new team. I mean, the Longhorns, Texas got like 5 new defense alignment. Right. 5 that play. It's like, golly. So it's a quick turnaround. It's kind of like the NFL. That's how it is now. Right. They're young professionals, and they're getting a hold to it. They're making it work.
It's the NFL with the shorter season, isn't it?
A lot shorter season. Yeah, right.
Right. Okay, so listen, let's jump into this for just a second, and I'll tell you my take before, and then I want to get your take on it. But I saw obviously a lot of social media. I heard a lot of guys, and I was having lunch with Jessica. We went to go watch Texas Ohio State, and heard a lot of guys, a lot of chirping in the bar of like, Arch, he's not, Arch isn't the guy. Arch. It was just, and I'm thinking to myself, I really wanted to go up to some of the guys and say, okay, so you're telling me Arch isn't the guy, right? And they would have been like, yeah, you're seeing him play. I wanted to be like, just name me right now 3 quarterbacks in college football that could have went in the shoe and won today. Just tell me who those dudes are, because I want to know who they are. Like you said, you can't judge it on one game, man. But I'm listening to these guys, man. And I'm like, come on, man. Like,
that's what it comes. That scrutiny and that criticism comes from being a big time player, right, and potentially can do a lot, right? Yeah. Now he's got Manning on his back, so he's going to get a little bit more eyeballs on him, a little more critiquing here and there.
Of course.
But hey, he didn't have his best game,
Of
or
course.
he wasn't on like he usually is. So, or what we expected.
Right.
But trust me, like he has everything it takes. Like now, the pressure is not as much on Arch right now. It's probably more on a coaching staff and Sark to see like, hey,
Yeah.
all right, what can we do with you? Where am I going to challenge you? Where can you get better at?
Right.
Where can I get better at? And then go from there.
Of course. Yeah, I was kind of just chuckling, when I was there.
Yeah, no,
Jessica.
we as players, even as NFL guys, even if you're not a Texas fan or Arch fan, you look at him, you say, let's hold on, pump the brakes.
Right.
Okay, he's probably not where some people thought he would be right now.
Right.
But he got time. He's really got time. Yeah.
I don't think anybody. I really don't think anybody in Austin. You know this. I don't think anybody in Austin's worried about Arch Manning right now. I think he'll have.
No.
I think he'll have a great year. And like I said, there's too much in his pedigree and too much in the game film and too much in just seeing him play to do what he does that people know he can play. I'll go back to when I was working for you and back in 2017 when you guys drafted Patrick Mahomes. And I remember going to dinner with you, and we were talking because you said he was running the twos because Alex was a first-string quarterback, and you and I are laughing. You were like, "Man, this 15 kid, he's different. Like there's stuff he's doing, some of this no-look stuff that you were like, hold on, wait a minute, man. This is our two quarterback. But you just know when they got that they got that pedigree. You know it, don't you?
Man, right off the bat, you don't. When somebody has that it factor, it don't take you much time, especially if you got a good eye for football. It don't take you much time to say, hey, this guy's a lot different. I mean, he was our scout team. Pat Mahomes was our scout team quarterback in 2017. I never got fussed at as much, and our defense was pretty good.
Yes.
And I never got fussed at so much in practice because, I mean, he was kind of hot dogging around
Right.
us at times. He'll look this way and be throwing that way, and I mean, I'm like, okay, I see you. Honestly, I thought he was playing around at first. I was kind of like, dang, what's up, man? You playing around? But that's just who he is. After I left, you say, oh, this is who this guy is. He's very risky with the football. Arm is unbelievable, and Andy, he stepped into the perfect opportunity with Andy Reid to really hone in his skills because he was a little bit too risky in college. Still made a lot of great yards and great throws, but he got to the Chiefs, man, and they Andy really helped really elevate Pat. But Pat's the man.
Yeah, I remember talking to Travis during that time too, and again I was out having dinner with Travis one night, and he was talking about same type of thing. He's like, man, when 15 just throws that ball to you, he goes, and he loved Alex. Alex was really good for Travis, but I think when he was talking about Pat, he was like, man, you turn and the ball's, I mean, it's just on top. He's just there. He was like, it's just there. He goes, he throws the ball different. So he knew Pat was going to be big for him for his career. And I know 15 and 87 they've done some pretty cool stuff together. And I don't think they're done yet. I don't think they're done.
No, they're not done. They're not done, man. They too much of good buddies, man. I mean, when you got a chemistry like that, reminds me of it's probably even better, but reminds me of Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates, man.
Yes.
I mean, they had that for years, and there were times when we play against Chargers and Antonio Gates, he wasn't the same player anymore. I mean, and Phillip was still putting it on the money, and I'm like, oh no, like he was still getting his yards. So it's kind of frustrating when they're both on the same page, and they definitely have that kind of chemistry.
Yes. Hey, so let's talk a little bit. Let's move on now. Let's talk a little bit about the Micah Parsons trade. What do you think about that from just the standpoint of the Cowboys and what they've done? I know a long time ago your family were kind of lifelong Cowboys fans, and you were a Cowboy fan growing up. To see kind of what's going on there in Dallas, tell me a little bit what you think about the Micah trade, and then I want to follow up with that and talk a little bit about David Mulligetta because, man, that guy's done some special stuff, and he is one of the top agents in the game. It's fun to see, but let's talk a little bit about the Micah trade.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, generational type of talent. He's man. I know defense pretty well. I mean, I've played it for a long time. I coach from the couch now. You know, I'm always involved in football play.
Right.
I've never seen anyone quite like him, just because he can do it. He can actually stand up and actually be a guy like myself and run around sideline to sideline.
Right.
But he actually gets on the end of the line, and his specialty is rushing the passer.
Right.
That's crazy for somebody that's an off-the-line linebacker. So when I learned that, you know, he kind of does double duty, but, you know, mostly he's a rusher. That's what he gets paid
Right.
for. Man, the way he gets around the corner is ridiculous. I mean, it's dang near impossible to block him.
Right.
It's just he's got too much speed to power. If you got speed, you're already making an offensive tackle scared,
Right.
and now you get power to it at the top of the rush.
Right.
Man, I mean, and he's got a motor out this world, man. I honestly, obviously, I'm not a Cowboys fan anymore.
Right,
I
of course.
no love for the
Yeah.
Cowboys, but I mean, I live in Texas, but I get attached to players, and I've met Parsons before. I've seen him before. I know his agent really well.
Right.
So being able to have a high character guy like that on your team, I don't know how Jerry. I don't know. That's different.
Of course, man. You know, some of the film that I've seen on him too, DJ, like you said, you talk about his speed and what that rush is like from the outside. But some of the times I've seen him when he gets to a running back, to watch him with his speed and all of a sudden use that strength and just throw a running back or just throw him on his back. It's like, man, this guy's that fast. He's that strong too. I'm like, I don't know if I've seen something like that, man. Not the way he rushes.
He's got it all. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. We haven't seen anything like it, and you can't take nothing from him, man. You can't take nothing from him. I mean, he checks a lot of boxes. He don't have a lot of weaknesses at all, and I mean, everybody's trying to look out for their family and set themselves up in a fair market and whatever. I don't know the business part of the game of what went on, but I tell you what, man. I would have, if I was Dallas, I would have figured out a way to do it, but. You know, we'll see if it works. So sometimes you'd be surprised certain stuff. You're like, oh wow, that worked. So we don't know. I know. Dang it, what is his name? I know Green Bay Packers are loving it.
Right. DJ, turn your camera if you can on yours. It flipped back on the other way.
I got it. Hold up.
There we go. Oh, it was back there for a minute.
No,
Okay, there we go.
Sorry, somebody was calling and it messed the deal up. Wow.
So just looking at that from the Green Bay standpoint, though, they did give up a lot. They gave up a lot for him, man. They gave that defensive tackle up, and then they also gave up 2 first-round picks. That's a lot, man. That's a lot they gave up.
Yeah, it's a lot they gave up. But I mean, that's how good he is. He makes you do risky, take chances like that, and give up 2 first-round picks. Now, if Dallas does something with him, if Dallas does something with those other 2 picks, they're going to be better later on. I don't know how good they're going to be this year with that.
Of course. And my thing, and you know this too, DJ, when you make trades like that, and even if it is 2 first-round draft picks, right, you don't know where those are going. If the Cowboys end up 9-7, 10-6 or something, they're not going to be in the top 5, 10 of the draft. So you don't know where those first-round picks are going to come from. And to think you already know what you've got in Micah Parsons, man, I don't know if I was Dallas if I would have made that move, but it sounded to me like Jerry had already made the bet a little bit, because he had come out and said that the time he did talk to him, and he didn't say David's name. He just said, Micah's agent. And he said, he kind of told me to stick the contract offer I made. He told me to, stick it in my rear type of deal. And I saw on Ryan Clark's show where Ryan's like, hey, I reached out to David Mulligetta. Anybody that knows David Mulligetta knows he's way too professional to say that to anybody, much less an owner. And David was like, what Jerry's saying did not take place. Like, we weren't going to take his offer, but what he's saying that I said, wasn't, didn't take place. Like I said, I know you know David pretty well. And I know I've met him several times, through Jamal and everything. And that guy he is head and shoulders above a ton of agents, and he is killing it in the NFL game right now.
He is. David Mulligetta is an agent that's all about connectivity, always he's always talking about family ties, being able to the older players he has help the younger players and being mentors to those guys. And he's got some of the best, not some of the best. He got probably all the best people he has. Of like he's the number one guy. He's the number one guy in the agency business right now, and he's worked his tail off. I went to school with him at the University of Texas, so I know him personally. And good guy, family man, husband, and father to 3 boys. So that's that is pretty cool to see him having this kind of success and being a businessman, because I'm sure I don't know what goes on in those rooms, but I usually let my agent handle things, of course, get back and forth with me after you talk to the team. But I'm sure there were some heated talks, and I'm sure they wanted him in Dallas. He loves Dallas. He actually wanted to be drafted by Dallas. So I'm sure this wasn't it was bittersweet that he took this deal.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, hats off to David Mulligetta. Like I said, watching what he's done and reading all the stories and all the guys he's got, man, hats off and kudos to him for what he's done in this world, because this NFL agent world is not easy. And to see his success, hats off and kudos to him, man. And best of luck to Michael Parsons in Green Bay. It's going to be fun to watch and see what he does this year. So listen, before we let you go, I know you didn't have a lot of time tonight. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL season kicking off, about the Chiefs kicking off in Brazil. When you were with the Chiefs, did you ever do any of the international games? Were you part of an international game where you had to travel overseas with the Chiefs?
Yeah, we were in London. Yep. I think I may have done it twice in my career, but it's always a special time. I'm actually going to Brazil, Sao Paulo, to watch the game. I do a couple appearance stuff there, so it's going to be cool being able to see the Chiefs across the world, and being able to be their first game. I love that the season's back, man. I mean, I'm happy, man. It's just being able to watch college football, being able to watch the NFL. It's always something special. And the Chiefs are. I mean, if you're not a Chiefs fan right now, man, you're missing out.
I know, that's right. So that's awesome, DJ. So the Chiefs are taking you to Brazil. Who do you know? How many other guys are going? Who I know, Mitch Morris is going. Mitch was on our show the other day. We did a Missouri kickoff show, and I had on Mitch Morris. I had on J Mac. You remember J Mac? And I had on Martin Rucker. So they came on to do the Missouri show. But Mitch said he's going to Brazil. How many guys are going to Brazil with the team? Do you know?
You know what? I do not know, and probably not many. Well, I shouldn't say that. Let me get down. Let me get down there first. But me and Lorenzo Neal are doing a bunch of stuff. A couple tailgates and stuff. Doing some appearances and whatnot, because he's used to play for the Chargers for a long time. So it's going to be awesome, man. I can't wait to go down there and represent the Chiefs.
Man, that's awesome, man. Good for you, man. That's good stuff. What are we thinking, man? I know this morning I was watching a little bit of NFL Network stuff, and we were talking about they were talking about the 4 teams in the AFC: Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Bengals. And I mean, again, I think it's going to be those 4 again. A lot of people are picking the Ravens and saying this is going to be Lamar's year to go and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. And, Jamie and I, when Jamie's on, we go at it a lot because he's like, you're a homer. You're going to pick the Chiefs every year. And I said, man, here's the deal. I tipped my hat to Jalen Hurts last year because he outplayed 15 in the Super Bowl. Philadelphia took it to us and they won. But in the AFC, DJ, I know these guys put up all the numbers, all the TVs, all the yardage. I'm not going to hand it to any of those guys until someone takes that Lamar Hunt trophy and takes it out of his hands. I'm not going to say Lamar is going to be that guy and Josh is going to. Now, can they do it? Yes. But to me, I think 15 is going to put them back in the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts on, like I said, the 4 great quarterbacks and great organizations, but what do you think? Are you kind of like me? Are you kind of thinking the Chiefs get back there again this year?
Yeah. Well, you're a smart man, Jude. I mean, it's going to – it's got to go through KC,
right?
And believe it or not, Lamar, Joe Burrow, and all these guys, they know they have high aspirations, and they can make some things happen because they are really, really good.
Yes.
But they got to come to Kansas City. That's just
Right.
it's just how it is, and they got to deal with the crowd. They got to deal with all that, and
Right.
can they do it? We'll see. We'll be at the thick of it at the end of the year
Right.
to see if we can make that
Right.
jump to the Super Bowl again, man. I mean, this will be our what, fifth time in
Yeah,
7 years?
we've been 5 times in 7 years with 3 Super Bowls. We just went the last 3 years, so 5 out of 7 we've been there. It's crazy,
So
isn't it?
they know what it is. They know
Right.
what it is.
Hey, so what about? And I know we got to talk about this just for a minute, man, because it's the buzz around Kansas City. But what about our guy Trav getting engaged?
Oh man, that's awesome, dude. That's like a man. Obviously, he's with Taylor,
Yeah.
the biggest star ever, right?
Right.
So that's a whole nother thing. But just being able to get to a point to get engaged, to be on a serious level. I'm a married man with kiddos. It is the good life, man. It really is God's way. It's a spiritual thing. When somebody's at that level, I really think they have peace with who they're with. They want to grow more. Hopefully, have some big time kids,
Of
later
course.
on. I'm rushing it, but
I know.
I love it, man. Whenever I see press of Taylor and Kelce, I'm like, man, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's fun to see Dees because I worked for him his first 5 years in the league, so I don't see him as much now because he's got his people that work around him now. So I see him, but I'm not with him on a daily basis anymore. But just talking to his guys and his crew. I mean, they've never seen him, this happy. I mean, you can just see him and Taylor and see that grin that I see on you and Brittany's face. That smile that's priceless. That's there. That I'm happy for him, man. Excited for him. This year is going to be special. I think if it's me, man, I'm writing the storybook. I think he finishes season 13 with the Super Bowl championship and rides off of the sunset, gets married, bro.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, hey, Jude, you're a smart man. I'm telling you, that's what I see the same thing, man. That would be a great send off, man. Time is ticking down for Kels, which all of us are. He can't play forever, but he still has a lot in the tank, and he's under Andy's supervision and guidance when you talk about this prolific offense and just all the young players with Worthy. I mean, you got so many other young players that can help out. It's not Kelce, you got to be a Superman. No, dude, we just need you on certain crazy third down situations or being able to maybe pull some coverage over here and leave somebody else open, man. This is the ultimate team game. So Kelce is not going in there now saying, man, I gotta have 1,000-yard season. No, we don't even need all that. We need you to stay healthy. We need you to catch the ball like you've been doing, and you'll be just fine.
Be that leader. Hey, before I let you go, I want you to watch out for a guy. He's my new kid I'm working with this season, and he's special, DJ. And I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of football, and I know when you see him and you watch more of him. Watch our left tackle. Watch Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. He's athletic, DJ. I told him the other day, I said, you're one of the most
big as heck, too,
yes.
Man.
I told him, I said, you're one of the most athletic left tackles I've seen. Just his footwork and his length and stuff. He's going to be special. I think he's going to be a guy. I'm calling it right here on my podcast, DJ. I think this kid's the cornerstone. As long as he stays healthy, he'll be the cornerstone of that left tackle spot to protect Patrick. He's special.
Man, that's awesome. I know Pat's grinning ear to ear when he sees this big guy on his blind side to help. Not because everybody wants to touch Pat.
Of course,
you got to get some people like Trey and those guys up there that said, "No, you can't touch my guy."
Hey, and Josh has a little bit of that nastiness to him. He has a little bit of that dog to him, man. So,
hey, Jude, them the ones that I hate, boy. I'm like. But that's a good reason. That means, man, they're really good. When you, as a defensive guy, where you're like, oh my goodness, we got to go against this guy. Right. That means they're good.
Yeah, he got a little bit of that dog to him, a little nastiness to him. So it's going to be special. Listen, when you come in town, we're going to have to get over. That new restaurant's getting ready to open here in a few weeks, 1587 Prime. So we're going to have to get over to Lowe's and have dinner. Dinner on Love You Bro podcast. Let Jessica and I take you and Brittany to dinner. Just thanking you for always coming on and being such a great guest and being so gracious with your time, brother. We appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man. Love you, bro.
Okay, I love you, bro. We'll get together and we'll do dinner when you get in town.
Yes, sir.
Hey, have fun in Brazil and bring home that W.
Yes, sir. Go Chiefs.
All right. Love you, bro. Talk to you. Guys, we'd like to thank our resident sponsor, Proactive Solutions. They've been with us from day one. They allow us, Love You Bro podcast, to get to do what we do each and every week, and that's bring you a new episode with new guests. So a big shout out to Dean and Natalie Thede at Proactive Solutions. Proactive Solutions has been delivering infrastructure solutions and IT design and consultation services to clients ranging from startups to Fortune 100 companies for more than 27 years. They are proud to be a Kansas City locally owned and a top woman-owned business, offering custom solutions and personalized support. So thank you to Proactive Solutions, Dean and Natalie. If you guys are interested and your company needs some IT solutions, reach out to Proactive Solutions at www.proactivesolutions.com. We have two great resident sponsors that really help us here at Love You Bro Podcast and allow us to do what we get to do week in and week out. Lula's Southern Cookhouse, Bradley and Brittany Gilmore, owners of Lula's. It's at 1617 Main Street. If you have not been down here, please come down on a Sunday and have brunch. Great wait staff, great bartenders. The ownership team with Bradley and Brittany Gilmore are just fantastic people, and they allow us to do what we get to do in this amazing event space at Lula's Southern Cookhouse. Welcome back to Love You Bro Podcast. We just got through doing our first part of our show with Derrick Johnson, and we want to thank Derrick for being on. But a good friend of Derrick's, man, and how we kind of met. I want to welcome on my man because we're going to talk a little bit of this KU-MU rivalry. Is Kansas Jayhawk running back from 1997 to 2000 from Texas. We want to welcome on David Winbush. David, welcome to Love You Bro Podcast, bro.
Man, how you doing, man? It's an honor and a pleasure to be here, man. It's good to see you, brother.
Hey, good to see you, bro. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, man. I know
Anytime, anything for you, man.
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. We just had on Derrick on the first part of the show. We talked a little bit about Micah Parsons trade, a little bit Texas, Ohio State. DJ calls in about probably once a quarter, man, and kind of catches up. We go through stuff. So, listen, I'm going to have you on during the season. We're going to talk some KU football several times. But
Hey. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm glad you asked him about the Micah Parsons trade, because being a Cowboys fan, I have no words for it.
Hey, listen, I don't know what they're doing over there in Dallas and what they're drinking over there in that water, man. I mean, first they trade Luka, now they trade Micah. What's going on over there, bro?
Man, only the guys inside those four walls know, and I know it's a business, and sometimes, it's the love of the sport from a child, but you know better than anybody. And NFL is business, and that's just sometimes that overshadows what the fans want, or what even the team may want. It's the front office, and it's a business. And as professionals, I say that because that's the way it is, but I still don't like it.
No, of course. As a fan, you don't like to see it, but like I said, you said it best right there, David. We don't know what went on in between those four walls and when those conversations happen. But listen, Micah got his contract. I know David Mulligetta. I know you probably know David Mulligetta. I know DJ's friends with him. David Mulligetta is one of the best in the business, man. He got Micah that money, got him paid. I just don't know how he let him walk. Because that kid's different, bro. You know that. He's different.
And you're exactly right. And, it is a team sport, but in my opinion, he has been the most impactful player right away since they drafted Ezekiel Elliott. The impact that they came and made. I mean, you even remember that rookie year when him and Dak were rookies. They got beaten the divisional on the last play by, coincidentally, Green Bay, in Dallas with Aaron Rodgers. So, I mean, it's just, he's such an impact, and he's like almost two men. You have to, game planning to double team him, and then you don't know where he's going to be because he lines up all over the field, and it's just, so that's a huge asset to lose. I just hope, right. I'm just holding my breath till Thursday.
You guys, so Dallas goes at Philadelphia on Thursday, right?
Yeah. What a way to open up after all this stuff. So when it rains, it pours.
Hey, David. We're here in Kansas City. I'm a big Chiefs fan, but we're looking forward to coming to Dallas and Thanksgiving. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't feel bad coming into Dallas and not seeing Micah Parsons. I'm gonna tell you that.
Not at all. I wouldn't either. I mean, right now, unless somebody emerges, and it's a couple of weeks till then, and unless someone emerges and starts off hot. I mean, who who's gonna,
Right.
we're not really feared,
Hey.
right now, so.
Hey, I know I don't want to see 11 chasing around 15. I know that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That guy's a running back speed,
Right.
linebacker power, and lineman strength.
Yeah. No, DJ and I were talking, David, when when you watch Micah and you watch him move around so much the way he moves, to me the biggest thing that I see when I see him is the speed off the edge wherever he's coming from. But when he gets past that, the lineman, he gets to a running back, to see his strength, man, sometimes with one arm throwing these running backs on the ground. I'm
It's pretty incredible. It almost seems video game like because this is the best of the best, the cream of the crop. These 53 best on each team, and he's doing these guys like this at such a young age. You know what I'm saying? Like veteran type moves,
Right.
experience type moves. When you've been in the league for a
Right.
while, but he's just out athleting everybody.
Yes, he is. Hey, listen, I didn't mean to get into the Micah trade, but I'm glad.
I know. I'm sorry.
No,
I brought it up. That's
no,
my
man.
fault.
I'm glad we got a chance to talk about it because it's all around. It's all around sports, and you're a Cowboys fan. So listen, hats off to what David Mulligetta got for Micah, and he got his money. So I'm sorry for you as a Cowboys fan, but man, Micah's gonna probably do big things over there in Green Bay, bro.
Hey, I'm used to it right now. At least at my age, I still can remember the 90s.
Okay, David, listen, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, man. Listen,
No
I
problem,
see you on with rocking that Jayhawk gear, rocking that Rock Chalk Jayhawk gear,
Hey,
bro.
all day, every day, man. I mean, I bleed it, man. When we met each other, I mean, we connected exactly, just instantaneously because it's the love for Kansas, man. It's something special, and I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. And it's just. And now, with not even the success they've had with Coach Leipold, but this new fancy $400 million facility that they have, I mean, the stock is rising, man. And I'm so excited for the future of Kansas football, man.
David, I was there on opening night here a couple weeks ago. A good friend of mine who's a big donor took me. His seats are first row, 50-yard line. And
Wow.
I'm telling you what, I mean, to see the new stadium and all the new digs and stuff, to me, more impressive than that is all of the football stuff they're putting together for these kids. Like you said, it's different. It's different. They had to, though. You had to start give those kids those type of facilities if you want to keep up and compete with these other schools.
That's it. And thank God for David Booth, Kansas alum, and he came through all on his own for us.
Hey,
and I know there's numerous donors.
Right.
I don't want to overlook them,
But man, what David Booth did is special. I did a little bit of
Yeah.
research on him, and they say he runs a hedge fund that's worth over $1 trillion. I mean, here's a kid that was born and raised in Lawrence, Kansas, runs a hedge fund that is well north of $1 trillion. So
that's crazy.
that $300 million donation to KU. Hey, I'm doing this because I can't wait to see. They said they're going to have a hotel that backs up to it. They're going to finish the other side of the stadium, so it's going to be special.
Man. I got to get back. They're going to make me want to move back up to Lawrence.
Hey,
man.
listen, you got to get back there. You got to get back. We got to catch a game soon.
Oh, it's definitely on the menu. It's funny enough. I have a little, not to have a shameless plug, but I have a little local podcast, and I was lucky enough to have Mitch Morse on today, and so we talked about the rivalry, and he was going to be at the game, but he's going to the Chiefs game in Brazil. So he said, well, next year we'll go together. So he said, I'll be a man and come to Lawrence next year since you don't want to go to Columbia this year.
Hey, Mitch is a great dude, and Mitch is Mitch has been on our show a couple times. Hats off. Yeah. Hey, listen, hats off. What's your podcast called, David?
Just talking ball with the Texas Jayhawk.
Okay, man, I love that, man. Right on.
Yeah.
Hey, give that plug in here, man. We plug all our podcasts. Yeah. Send us the info, man, because we plug all our podcasts. Mitch,
I appreciate it.
Hey, Mitch just started his podcast.
Monday mornings with Mitch.
Monday mornings with Mitch. He's hilarious, and I know he's always been a quiet. He's always been a quiet guy when I knew him when he was in the league. But he's come on the podcast a couple times. He's hilarious, bro.
He is. I mean, he killed it today, man. I can't wait till it airs. We usually air every Thursday. So, I can't wait for everybody to see it because he stole it, man. I mean, he's like I say, he's got that kind of stoic, just like straight face. But I mean, the stuff he said today, he killed it, man.
Yeah.
So it was awesome.
So David, I had on Mitch here a few weeks ago for the Missouri kickoff show. Okay, so I did some work with Mitch when he was here in town, and from my company, from my primetime assistants, and then I also had a chance to be blessed to work with Jeremy Macklin and Martin Rucker. So the three of them came on, right?
Wow, yeah.
And so I got to tell you this funny story. So, J Mac and Martin played with Chase Daniel on that 07 team, and then Mitch was on that 13 team, right? So
Yeah.
I knew I was going to set it up, but my brother Jamie's not here tonight. He's got some stuff going on with his baby girls. He's my other host that comes on, and I kind of was nudging him a little bit because I was like, watch this. So I said, I'm just curious, man. Out of that 07, that 13 Mizzou team, which team was better?
Hey,
J Mac, look, he's like, Mitch, don't go there, Mitch. Don't go there,
Hey.
Mitch.
Hey, I'll tell you though, like I remember that, that finish in that game was awesome, but that year, was it the year after or the year before when they were like number 2 and number 3 at Arrowhead?
Yep.
And if Kansas would have won that game, it would have sent them to the Big 12 championship, and they would have had a legitimate shot to play for the national championship.
Yes.
But Missouri got the best of them that night, man. That was, oh my gosh,
So-
so it's been some great border wars. I still call it the border war. I know they changed it to showdown, but I still call it the border war, man. It's something.
So David, let's go back and talk about your time, 97 and 2000 there. You played against Missouri 4 times. My question to you is, let's talk a little bit about your time at Kansas when you had those border war games. And then my follow-up to that is going to be, we'll get to my follow-up. Let's talk a little bit about the time you played, your 4 games that when you played Mizzou. What were those games like?
It was great, and I want to first start off and say my 4 years there, we were 3-1 against Missouri.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I want to,
Okay.
so I want to say that first. But and it's funny because Mitch and I talked about that today, being Texas guys, and a lot of people you get the question of what made you choose Kansas and how was that experience being a Texas kid all your life? And I tell you what, man, it was seamless. Besides the typical homesickness for being a 17-year-old freshman, but besides that, it was seamless. I mean, we didn't have the ultimate success of bowl games, of Big 12 championships, but I mean, everything that they told me as far as education, opportunities, and experiences, man, it was right on, man. And I remember my freshman year, we played Missouri at home. The first game, it was like the 3rd or 4th game of the season, and experienced team, man. I mean, I started throwing out names like Corby Jones and Brock Olivo and those guys like that who are legends there. And, we had an experienced team. That was 97, and had a couple of guys that was on that 95 Aloha Bowl team. And, 96 was a bit of a struggle, but came back, and we actually had a hot start. I mean, I think we started off the season 4-1, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, we beat a good UAB team, we beat TCU, and we beat Missouri. And so that game, man, I had a chance to play as a freshman, and it was live. And I want to back up to even the night before. And the famous Coach Fambro, who bleeds, crimson and blue. And he had us in the Hadel Center, and he gave us this speech. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to go play right now. I said he should have saved this for the locker room before, and we go out and we beat them 15-7. I mean, it was a great game. I mean, just 2 teams, and the experience of like those older guys, those seniors. I remember I backed up Eric Van, who was the starting running back at the time, who was a great guy, great mentor, and just encouraged me at every turn when it was my chance to go show what a little freshman had. I mean, just so it was good. We had guys like Ron Warner, who played in a Super Bowl, and who was led the nation. I think he's still, it hadn't been broken. I think one of my teammates broke his sack record, but I mean, he had 10.5 sacks that year. I mean, just, things like that. And it was awesome. And to come away with a win, that was awesome, man. And so that stuck with me. And I said, okay, this is what it's about. And funny enough, so we go to Columbia the next year, and we bus up there, and right when we get into the stadium, there's fans waiting. It's not friendly fans, it's Missouri fans, and they're throwing apples, oranges, eggs, and I'm like, okay, this is what it's all about. And and a good Missouri team who that year I think took Nebraska down to the wire. They beat us pretty handily. I mean, the game was tight all the way up into the 4th quarter, and they just turned it on. I think Devin West had over 300 yards rushing on us, and I mean, it was a game. But then we flipped back, and beat them in Lawrence 21-0 my junior year, and then we come back to Columbia as all seniors and we beat them like 38-17 there. So I mean, it was some one down, but a lot of ups. But I mean, just that rivalry and how I immediately adopted it. Just having Kansas teammates and having Missouri teammates, and just how it just and Mitch said the same thing, man. He's like, I was ready just to chew nails and go after these guys. I didn't like them and still don't like them, and we're older now and out of it, so it's like there's no hate, but I'm not helping you at all if you're in Missouri.
Hey, it's still there, man. So I saw a clip earlier. I saw this clip earlier from Devin Neal that he was on the phone with Coach Leipold earlier. Coach Leipold talked about this in his press conference today. Said he talked to Devin Neal, and Devin told him he'd come back and play for free if he could come back and play in this game. He'd come back as a walk-on and play in this game if he could.
And you're right, and that's the saddest thing, man, because he's a Lawrence kid, so he grew up seeing all that stuff and hearing about it, and for it to, not exist, and I think, I don't know if that was a rumor or was it true, when 2 years ago when KU had that 9-win team, they were supposed to play Missouri, or Missouri had the option to play them in the bowl game, and they didn't want to. I don't know, they didn't want to. Yeah, they didn't want to take that loss, and so I mean, no respect, no respect. So now it's like, we're kind of in a somewhat of a rebuilding. We got our quarterback, but he lost to Kansas all-time leading rusher, but we still have Deuce Highshaw, and we have the transfer from Iowa. And, so we've got some experience back there, but we got 3 receivers we're trying to break in, a tight end with some experience. We lost most of our O-line, so we got some questions to answer. Even though we're 2-0 right now, this is going to be the first real test. I mean, not only it being a rival game, but a SEC caliber team, because I mean, this tastes like vinegar coming out of my mouth, but I mean, Missouri hit the ground running when they moved to the SEC. I mean, they were in the SEC, championship 2 years in a row, I think, after their first year in it, I mean, so I mean, it's, they hadn't been back since, but I mean, golly, they showed that they could compete in, in that league. So it's kind of it's a big deal, man. I'm glad it's back, and it's so much fun. I mean, every day it's going to be something about Kansas and Missouri. So I'm excited. I want Saturday to get here, but I want our guys to get as much preparation. Let's pull some tricks. Let's just let it fly, because I mean, we're the underdog and we're going into enemy territory. So just let it fly,
I'm right there with you, Dave. I look at it. We go in there as a 6.5 point underdog. Missouri's coming off. Coach Drinkowitz has done a hell of a job over there at Mizzou and recruiting. He's really starting to land a lot of kids here in the Midwest, Kansas, Missouri kids that Missouri wasn't getting there for a while. But what he's done over there is special. They come off 3 10-win seasons, and I don't care which schedule you're playing in the SEC. 3 back-to-back 10-win seasons is no joke. That's the SEC.
No doubt.
It's no joke. So I think we have our hands full. But listen, man, and I'll get to this real quick. So, and talking to some of my friends that are just diehard Jayhawk fans, they're just itching to get to Columbia. I have a lot of people coming. We're going to do a live 3-hour podcast from 11 to 2 for 3 hours before the game on Saturday. Wow. We're inviting people to come to our tailgate. We're inviting people to come to our podcast. We're handing out T-shirts. So when we get off today, I'm going to have you go to the merch store and pick up some of our Crimson and Brew Love You Bro podcast so we can send you some gear. But here's my question. Here's my question to you right now, though, Dave.
Okay.
Being a Jayhawk, you're a diehard Jayhawk guy. And you were there during the days when this rivalry was heated, and there was a lot of hate for the schools, man. A lot of hate. And maybe hate's too strong of a word, but you know what I'm talking about. And that rivalry.
Like a competitive hate.
Yes,
a competitive hate. Yeah.
So do you think the kids nowadays will they get the rivalry the way that it used to be, since they haven't played since 2011? A lot of these kids are coming in. I don't think they know about the rivalry, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think, I think like maybe for a kid like me, if you're coming from outside of the Kansas, Missouri area, maybe not as much, because it's not as live, or, it's not as recent, if I would, but I think kids from the Kansas City, Missouri area, I think that's still something, because it was the same deal, down here when the Texas A&M rivalry went away for a while. They still threw shots at each other. They still talked about each other, and it's the same thing.
Yes.
We could watch a Missouri game and it has nothing to do with us, but we're still going to, that's what they get. I'm glad they lost, stuff like that. So I think that it never dies. It never dies. Now it's like now we could do something about it, you
Right.
know. And being a Texas guy, I thought naturally like, oh, I thought Kansas State was the bigger rivalry. And when I got there, they were like, no, we hate Missouri, you
Right.
know. And it's,
Yeah.
you know, so it's, I mean, and I say hate. We use the word hate. I
Yeah.
mean, it's competitive.
Of
Like
course.
me and Mitch joke about it. I said, man, you're my favorite Missouri Tiger. You know, you're the only one I'll talk
Yeah.
to. But I mean, I've met a couple guys in the past, like Corby Jones, great guy. You know, so those guys, you know, it's a game. It's
Oh,
a
for
game,
sure.
and it's for bragging rights and it's for fun. But I mean, that's as far as it goes. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey,
yeah.
Dave, listen, you and I both know, boy, there's gonna be a lot of shit talking this weekend.
Oh
There's
man.
social
Oh
media
man.
all over the place. I've got a lot of guys I went to high school with that went to Mizzou, played at Mizzou, and you know they know I'm a Kansas guy. They call me the Beaker. They know I'm a Kansas guy. And I said, listen, I'm telling you guys right now, you guys are all right now. You got your chests puffed out a little bit. You're
Yeah.
the favorite. You're the favorite. We're coming into Columbia. But I told them, I said, listen, if we get you on Saturday, every one of you guys better be picking that phone up or I'm showing up on people's doorsteps. I'm telling you right now.
Exactly.
I'll put that Jayhawk doll in the front of your lawn. I'm telling you right now, they better pick that phone up, David, because they're
That's
pumping
it.
right now.
I told Mitch, get those international minutes ready, baby, because I'm a call you. So we're gonna text each other during the game. But no, exactly. And like I say, I like it. I like being an underdog. I like it. You know, no pressure on us. No expectation as far as like we're supposed to do it. Let's go do it. We want to do it, but like no, you know, like I say,
Yeah.
you know, 3-10 win seasons. They've had some, you know, some decent success in the SEC,
Right.
and so you know we've had some success, you know, new and it's building and building. We underachieved a little bit with a senior led ball club last year,
Right.
but still in the end had a chance to go to a bowl if we didn't slip up against Baylor,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, you know, you knock off Iowa State, you knock off BYU, you knock off Colorado, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's still a chance. And so I think that showed great resilience. And Coach Leipold's teams never say die, because at one point it was kind of like, oh, we thought we were gonna have a chance at a Big 12 championship and maybe a college playoff berth,
Right.
and it went from that to like, oh, we could still be bowl eligible, and just, you know. And I was actually at that Baylor game on the sideline, man, and just it was just that
Right.
close, man. So
Yeah.
so you know, like I say, it's a full week, man. It's a full week. I'm nowhere near Lawrence, 637 some miles away, and I'm thinking about Missouri every day, and I have nothing to do with the team right now.
Man, I love it, David. I love that so much, man. Let me just ask you one question here. I want to ask you. So, do you see a lot? Because I see a lot in what Leipold's doing with what Mangino did with the kids he's recruiting, the Texas kids, the kids he's bringing in that are building this program up better. Do you see that a lot from Leipold that you saw in Mangino's days?
Yes, and you know, and I think, you know, the way recruiting has changed a little bit, you know, because, you know, Coach Leipold, you know, even with that initial staff with Coach Kolanecki, you know, and his innovative offense, and I think Coach Z has done a great job taking over, you know, the play calling duties. But that, you know, that offense and the way they run defense, I think they do not only, you know, a good job of kind of covering a certain area of, you know, where pipeline kids or like the hotbeds in Texas, but kids that really fit their system, you know. I mean, and you know, you think about Jared Casey and guys like that who were just, I mean, so valuable in the things that they did, but you know, two tight end, fullback type stuff, and it was perfect. So I think Coach does a good job not only getting good kids out of, you know, the southern states and all over the nation, but also kids that fit not just what they want to run, but culture and how they do things there, man. I think he's really, you know, when you come over and you take over a program, that's the first thing you got to establish is culture. And this is how we do things here. And, you know, I think that was a quick turnaround. I think that not just the football program, but the community and city was so hungry for change. They bought right in immediately, and it showed. I mean, I was in the stands at UT when Kansas beat, you know, the first year Coach Sarkisian team in double overtime, you know, and I was like, oh man, here we go. You know, even though we only had like 1 or 2 wins, you can see it. And that's the problem with, you know, being a coach, you know, and being a player. You know, everybody wants you to be good right now. And that's just, we're all human beings. And that stuff just doesn't happen overnight. But now, like you alluded to earlier, resources, facilities, things like that. Now we're up there, if not one of the top, if not the top facility in the conference right now, you know. So it's, you know, it's, man, it's looking up. So, I mean, it's people that are picking Kansas over other big town schools where usually it was like a no-brainer. Oh, I'm not going to Kansas. Now it's like, oh man, this is, they joke, we're Kansas guys, so you get the joke about being a basketball school, but and they joke, oh, Kansas is football now, and I mean, all respect to the basketball tradition there. I mean, it was created in Kansas. I mean, and as well as I do, I was in school when Coach Williams was the head coach, and Rafe with friends and Paul Pierce. So I mean, so it's one of those deals where we were decent, but you're not gonna, it's Kansas basketball, But I think we've made tremendous gains in being a relevant programs athletically, so I mean we've had some success in all sports there, man. I mean volleyball, baseball, softball, soccer, so I mean, and of course basketball, but football is now in that conversation as well. So man, it's up from here, man.
It's coming. Listen, it's a lot of fun. Listen, we're going to wrap our show up, David. I wanted to just thank you, man. Listen, thank you for taking time out. Thank you for taking time out of your night tonight to come on our show. Now, listen, you've come on once. We're going to get you some gear. I'm going to ask you to come on a couple more times during the season and talk some more KU football if you're good with that.
I'm with it. I appreciate you, man. I love you, buddy.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Hey, I love you, bro, and I'm going to be in touch. We're going to get you some of this Love You, Bro gear. And, hey, when you come up to Lawrence to get to a game, I'm going to meet you over there.
Sounds good, man. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Hey, let's go. Rock Chalk Jayhawk this week, man. We got to get that W.
Yes, sir. Rock Chalk.
All right, man. Love you, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Peace.
All right, man.
All right. We're out.